Yo. Hey man, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Any trades today, man?
Uh,
Don't tell me that.
Maybe US 30 if we get this break of structure on a 5 minute, but aside from that, no. If we get that break, then yeah, but aside from that, no sir, no sirree. I'm liking GCAD. I ain't gonna lie, I'm really liking GCAD. Not now, but probably tomorrow for 372. Got the 30-minute break. Yeah, GCAD don't look bad for tomorrow. Actually, wait, hold on. Do you think GK hit STP already? 193. But these STPs aren't reliable though, right?
Right now, not really, no.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just pass until we get to 372 then.
And we got no news today either, so.
Yeah. But we got a break of the 800 EMA on the 30-minute time frame. So we got a break of the 30-minute EMA of the 800 EMA. We got a change of character break of structure on the 30-minute time frame. So all we're waiting for now is just that 372. And then we still have that 30-month high as well. So yeah, GCAD does not look bad, my brother. I could probably pass my account off GCAD, honestly. Pass my account and get a little payout if we get two moves. Yeah, it's not really shit to trade, bro. Because even US 30 for US 30 to give us that break of structure on a 5-minute time frame, price has to move another 300 pips. So it's like, yeah, no. Damn, man. That's sad.
Shit, damn, that's sad.
Gold, don't know what gold gonna do. The gap still hasn't gotten filled. Price is currently in a zone of consolidation. So, yeah.
Mr. Bashir, good morning, my brother. Doing amazing today, man. Can't complain, can't complain.
Every day is a good day, my brother. We woke up today, man. So, man, that's already one thing to be grateful for. Right there, man. We got good food, good water. set up, to be able to make money. Like, man, man.
There's only one thing missing though.
What? Hell no. Here you go. So,
What happened?
man, that do feel good, though, man. I ain't gonna lie. Blessed day to be alive, brother. Blessed day to be alive.
So GA GCAD look pretty good. GJ I'm not trading. GU I'm not trading. Let's see, US 30 looking good. We just gotta wait for it to move. Finally, US 30's acting the right way. Holy shit.
What, the zone of consolidation?
Fucking finally, we have a fucking zone of consolidation. Holy shit.
Man, my brother.
Oh, only took 2 weeks.
Huh?
It only took 2 weeks.
It only took 2 weeks.
Fuck, man. And we know we'll have a trade for 9:45, 10 o'clock. Potentially.
Let's go.
I don't want to jinx it. Damn. Pause.
Man, it feel good, boy. It feels good. Yeah.
And then USD CAD is still on this engulfing candle from yesterday.
USD CAD.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much actually acting the same as US 30 if I'm being honest. Like it's still inside that 4 hour engulfing candle, and it's pretty much the same as US 30. Like it's just waiting for some volume really
Yeah.
for it to act normal.
Then gold hasn't moved either.
Gold has not moved either.
Interesting day today. Interesting day today.
Gold is in a zone of consolidation as well. I was like this morning, I was like, bro, why are all these pairs moving the same? Like no volume, just sitting there like a sitting duck. Like a sitting duck, my brother.
I'll show you a sitting duck. You a dirty dog. You a freaky frog, man. Freaky goddamn frog. Alright, so yeah, as of right now, there's nothing we could really look at and call out and be like, yo, this is gonna be a good one. So we just gotta be a little patient, guys. There's a few areas to look at for some of these pairs. For example, GA, we have this 30-minute engulfing candle. Just put an alert here just in case. Right, but we know that we have the alerts don't work on trading view, so we're gonna have to just keep this open and go back and forth. Um, but we know we have this gap, this engulfing candle. We had a gap in the market. It came down, came back up, closed it already. So Gonna keep an eye on this area here for GCAD. We have a little inducement of the lows as well. After the inducement of the low, price started giving us higher highs and higher lows in the lower time frame. So we're looking good. This is definitely a pair to keep an eye on. Again, especially with that engulfing candle that we have on the 30-minute, we'll keep an eye on this area to take some trades up. And you know, once we get into this area, we'll go down to the lower time frame because of how fast and how much these pairs are moving. You know, this is a 50 pip stop for 185 pip TP. So we'll keep an eye on GA for a little bit. GCAD also looks good. We finally have the break of structure after the change. We're above the 800 EMA, which is perfect. What I'm pretty much looking for now is for price to give me a pullback. Now, again, the question just really stems, which is how steep is the pullback going to be, right? And that's the question that we don't know. Nobody has that answer, right? That's why we look for key areas. We look for engulfing candles, which we don't have. We look for the EMA bounces, which we could see prices doing exactly that, exactly what we needed to be doing that. So we just gotta be patient with this one, right? We most likely already missed the entries for this one early on, early last night at around 3 in the morning ish. So we'll continue to
Yeah, but
keep an eye on GCAD.
which
What happened?
what was the entry?
I was on the lower time frame. Like if you're on the 30, probably like between 5 and 6:30 a.m. Whenever price gave us like those little pullbacks.
Oh, okay.
US 30 still just moving sideways, so I'm going to leave this one till 9:30. Right? We understand that this is gonna give us a move at 9:30, create inducements, and then we'll catch the continuation. So anywhere between 9:30 and 10:30, that's when we'll be looking for a trade on US 30. USD CAD, we have a 4-hour engulfing candle that price has tapped into since yesterday, and we're just still sitting in this area. What I don't like about USD CAD right now, and the reason why we haven't taken any trades yet on USD CAD, we're still making lower lows and lower highs, right? We're technically still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. Price came up, gave us like 3 taps of the highs, right? Gave us a rejection and went right back down. Not only that, but we also have a gap at the bottom of the market in that last 30-minute candle that closed. So the fact that we still have a gap here is very low probability that I'll take a trade going long when we have a gap going short. And then same thing with USDs are. We have 2 days of drop. Today being the third day, price gave us a third day low, looks like an inducement, and then started going back up to the top side. However, we have a gap in the market at the bottom. So this is gonna be the same situation as USD CAD. I'm gonna wait this one out before I take a trade. Gold, pretty much same, very similar to US 30. We're just gonna wait till the 9:30 open and see what price wants to do. Price has just been consolidating. Bitcoin, same thing. And then oil gave us a zone of consolidation up until the end of Asia, gave us a breakdown, and then still stuck in this area. So we'll just be patient, but it looks good as well to keep an eye on. So we have a few pairs to really just look at. There's nothing that we could really say here yet and be like, okay, this looks good. Same thing as last night, right? Last night's session was pretty quick. There was really nothing for us to look at in last night's session. So we'll just be patient. We'll trade when we have to trade. No rush. And then we'll go on from there. So I'm gonna keep GA is the one on my list that I'm the most confident in for today. So I'm gonna keep this one on the screen the most. We know that US 30, gold, Bitcoin, oil really gonna wait till 9:30. So there is really no other trade or no other pair to keep an eye on for now. Would love to get a pull back into the engulfing candle first before we get that closure of the gap in the 30. If price could give me a pullback first, then we'll look for an entry, and then we know that from here to here, we know 100% price will come up to this area. So just gonna be patient, guys. Just gonna be patient. This is good. This is a 50 pip move just from here to here. So nothing, not too bad. Not too bad. So now, if we go down to lower time frame, do we have any other engulfing candles? Anything else we could tap into here that we could say, okay, this is where the pullback is gonna be? Any gaps in the market? Structure in the 5 minute. Let's look at this real quick. So we know we have higher low, higher high, boom, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low, higher high. And we're trying to consolidate and boom. Low, high, change of character, higher. So yeah, we're pretty much still trading between the change of character. Alright, boom, change of character, higher high, and this low. So then in the 1 minute, boom, and then we have boom, and then we have another change of character. But in the lower time frame, do we have anything here that we could say, okay, nice area? Nothing here, so we'll just wait it out. Like I said, there's no rush. We'll see how price looks once we get down to these areas down here. So, any questions, guys? Any pairs you guys want me to go over? Any trades you guys want me to go over? Let me know. If not, then we're pretty much just gonna be sitting here like some little cute ducks and just waiting for price to do what it has to do, man. Is there any reaction you're expecting from any pair? Not really, Mr. Bashir. We have no news today, right? So same kind of examples we were giving yesterday. So first and foremost, for today, right? We have no news today, so I'm not really expecting anything too crazy to happen in the market today. The second thing is the same that we explained. Damn. Same thing that we explained yesterday with the ADR and how much these pairs are moving. So the fact that again, a lot of these pairs have very high ADR and STP, especially some pairs that do not move, like GA, right? This is a pair that does not move 353 pips on a day-to-day basis. The numbers are so inflated because of the news that we had the last 2 weeks, right? The tariffs, um, the non-farm on Friday, which was I think 2 Fridays ago, right? Not last Friday, but the Friday before. So all of these days where we've had high impact news that elevates ADR, and on top of the fact that the just regular government news that we've had worldwide also inflates ADR on a regular week like we are this week. I'm not expecting price to move the same way it moved in the last 2 weeks. So that's the reason why I'm not really expecting any moves. And we could even see, I mean, it doesn't really take a rocket scientist to understand this. Like, if you notice, look at the last couple of days, what has price been doing? It's just been consolidating. There hasn't been any trend, right? And this is what happens when a price or when a certain pair isn't ready to move. It's just going to give you a zone of consolidation the entire time. So, again, to sit here as a trader and say, what am I expecting on a week like now, like a week like last week, it's very impossible to do that. Like, again, we could sit here and assume what price is going to do because we know the overall direction of the trend. Like, we know what these pairs have to do at the end of the day. So if we don't get any rules that are telling us that price is going to be trending with the overall trend, then I'm just not taking any trade. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at right now. And that's the reason why I'm looking at GA, because we do have indications that price is going to go up. And again, that's following the overall market makers pattern, which is the uptrend, right? So this is GA is still a good pair to keep an eye on. What's good, Albert? Good morning, my brother. And what's your view on BTC weekly down to daily analysis? Well, I don't look at the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame for me would be the 4 hour, but because again, the daily time frame is really what's telling you the overall direction of the of the pair. But again, same thing as yesterday. Same thing that I said on Sunday. Same thing that I said on Thursday and Friday as well during the isolation session and the live trading session when we were looking at this pair. We're still stuck in a zone of consolidation, right? We have no continuations. At one point, yes, we're sitting at the low of the zone of consolidation that we have on the daily time frame, and we did get clean breaks below the lows, right? So technically, we did break below the zone of consolidation. However, you know, exactly what I explained yesterday, right? Which is right now we're still trading lower low, lower high, lower low. So the question really just is, okay, what pullback do they want to do? Do they want to give us a simple 23.6, 38.2 pullback here to go short? Exactly what we explained yesterday, right? Does price want to give us a retest of the break of structure, which is the yellow line that we have here, right? The bottom of the zone, which we had the retest. Price went down, but came right back up. So once again, we're stuck. When you're looking at this in the lower time frame, you could see that again, where is price stuck at? Price is stuck between here and here, just in a zone of consolidation. So in a zone of consolidation, what do we have to wait for? It's super simple. Again, the market has two different moves: when it's consolidating and when it's trending, right? In a trend, let's explain this with visual views, right? In a trend, you can get into a trade whenever price gives you a higher low, right, to continue into a higher high, or vice versa. You know that you could look for a trade going short when price gives you a lower high, and you could get into the trade going into a lower high to go back into a lower low, right? In a zone of consolidation, when price is moving sideways, when is your opportunity to enter? You have two different opportunities to enter going both ways. Your first opportunity is going to be when price gives you an inducement of the lows and then starts trending up to go back to the top. And your next opportunity in a zone of consolidation is when price gives you a break of the top, a retest to then continue, right? Or vice versa. In a zone of consolidation, when you're looking for shorts, the best time to look for a trade is when price gives you an inducement of the highs, starts trending down and goes back down to the bottom. And the next opportunity to get into a trade when you're going short is when price gives you a break and retest of the bottom of the zone of consolidation to continue. So what are we looking for? If you notice at our chart, right, if I was trading Bitcoin, as you can see, I have a box here and it's not even labeled or anything, but just so you can see, let's start from back from the top to the bottom, right? In the zone of consolidation, what are you looking for? You're looking for an inducement. Cool. After the inducement was made, what are you looking for? Well, now you're looking for higher highs and higher lows. You're looking for engulfing candles, right? Boom. After the inducement, what did price give us? It gave us a 1 hour engulfing candle. Came back, retested it, zero drawdown, straight into profit, right? For what? For price to continue to the top of the zone of consolidation. So again, what are we waiting for now at the top of the zone of consolidation? It's very simple, right? We're looking for the break, the retest to continue. So I'm not looking for any trades on Bitcoin up until I either get a break, retest, and continue, or if price wants to give us another inducement of the highs to go short the same way that it did here, the same way that it did here, the same way that it did here, right? So this is what I'm looking for right now on Bitcoin. Now, overall, what do I think the move is? I can't sit here and tell you that just yet because we're still in peak high territory. Since we're still in peak high territory, price hasn't given us a higher time frame change of character, break of structure. It gave it to us in the lower time frame, but on the daily time frame, we're still trading higher high and higher low. So right now, overall, I don't have an answer as to where price is gonna go because we're still in the highest point in the market. We're in peak high territory. Now, if price decides to break these highs, obviously these low of consolidation or these highs of consolidation, if it breaks these highs, then we know we'll continue back to these highs over here, right? But if price gives us the inducement, then we know we'll continue that downtrend push, right? And then at that point, if we continue this downtrend push, then we could sit here and consider this as the first level in the downtrend market makers pattern, right? Level 1 drop. So we'll just have to wait. But that's pretty much, this is our area. Literally the exact same thing I explained yesterday, right? Right now, in order for us to look for a trade, we need to wait for price to give us that break to continue going long, right? If price doesn't give us the break, then we'll start looking for trades going back short. All right, again, the question should be, why didn't we take this trade? Very simple. I wasn't on the chart. Number one, I wasn't on the chart at this time just yet. I think on Wednesday, beginning of the week, beginning of the month, sorry. This was one trade where we turned the stream on, and I'm like, oh man, we missed that trade. There was news that day too. But straight into profit, doing exactly what we just explained, right? Before we even looked at the chart, we explained exactly what had happened. So that's why it's very important to understand structure before anything else. Because again, like, I could teach you everything in the market. I could teach you how every pattern looks. I could teach you how every candlestick looks. But if you don't understand structure and the reasons why you're looking for what you're looking for, then you're just going to take every trade and you're going to have a 40% win rate. And it's going to be very unfortunate because that's not in this game of trading. You're not going to have any longevity in this if you have a 40%, 20%, 50% win rate. Isn't that counter? Right now we're in peak high territory. So trading counter trend would be going short. However, right now, what are we seeing in this peak high territory? We could already start seeing price giving us lower lows and lower highs. So technically, yes, the shorts right now are counter trend because we're still in peak high territory. But because we started the downtrend push already in the lower time frame, if price gives us, right, if price gives us the confirmation that price isn't going to go higher the same way that we did, like what we explained a few minutes ago, right? If price gives us that indication that price is not going to go higher the same way that it did here, give me a second, right? The same way that it did here, the same way that it did here, the same way that it did here, right? If it does this again, then we know we're going to go back down to the lows, right? And vice versa. Again, to answer the other question, like, well, again, are we trading counter? If we're looking for buys, again, not really, because we're in peak high territory, right? Very similar to USD CAD, right? But this is why I don't really trade in peak high territory, because price could do whatever it wants to do in peak high territory or peak low territory. When you're at the highest point in the market, the price could do whatever it wants. And you could see, look at gold, for example, right? Gold in peak high territory has been doing whatever it wants to do, right? Same thing with US 30, right? US 30, when we were in peak high territory, which again, we technically still are in peak high territory, at one point you could see that price was just doing whatever it wants to do, faking out traders, making them think price was going to go short, going back up, right, going to the top side, making everybody believe this is a double top to continue going short, hit everybody's stop loss again, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? And then to where we're at now. So peak high territory is more about trading your zones and waiting for your confirmations, right? Especially, I'll tell you this, especially when price is giving you a zone of consolidation in peak high territory, that's the easiest thing the market makers could give you. Because in a zone of consolidation, there's only two things that you're going to do. You're either going to induce the highs to go short or vice versa, or you're going to break the highs to continue to push to the top side or vice versa with the shorts, right? You're either going to induce the lows to go back up or you're going to break the lows to go short. Like, there's only two things that the market makers could do on each side of the zone of consolidation. You're either going to break the highs and continue, or you're going to induce them and go short, right? So same thing. Let's go back so you guys can see what I'm talking about, right? You're either going to break these lows to continue, or you're going to go back up to the highs, right? You're either going to break these highs to continue to push to the top side, or you're going to induce the highs to go short, and it went short. Same thing here. When it came back up, you're either going to break the highs to continue to push to the top side, or you're going to induce the highs to go short, right? Same thing. You're either going to break or induce, and it induced. It went back down. Boom. You're either going to break or induce, and it induced, and it came back up to the top side. So we're just waiting for the same thing up here, right? It's just a waiting. At this point here, at the top of the zone of consolidation, it's just a waiting game. I'm in no rush to take any trades up here. Now, once we get up here, once we have the inducement, that's when I'm looking to take a trade. So I hope that makes sense. I know it was a kind of a long example, but I explained it in different ways where everybody could possibly understand it, right? We explained it on the higher time frame, we explained it on the lower time frame, the 30-minute moves, like, it's pretty similar with everything. Let me know if you need another example or anything else. Let's see, did price fill this gap up already? Not yet. Okay, cool. It's the same thing with this trade, right? In a zone of consolidation, what are you looking for? You're either looking for the break or you're looking for an inducement, right? What did price do at these highs? It induced the highs and went short, right? At these shorts, at these lows, what did price do? Price induced the lows again, gave us an engulfing candle. Beautiful. Now we're looking for the retest to continue that push back to the top side. Now, if price gave us a break, then we'd be expecting price to go back down. So it's the same thing again. Every single pair is traded the exact same way. The only difference, and I'll say this again the same way I say this every single time I get on the charts and I do the live streams. If you can't see these moves on a pair that moves 20, 30, 40 pips, you're not going to see it on a pair like US 30 that moves 1,000 pips in a day. You're not going to see it on gold on a pair that moves 600, 700 pips a day. You're not going to see it on Bitcoin, a pair that moves 1,000 pips a day too, right? Same with US oil, same with GJ, right? So, that's why I've steered away in the isolation sessions. I've steered away from looking at pairs like US 30 and gold and Bitcoin and oil and even GJ because it just doesn't make any sense. Like again, you're not gonna start running yesterday and then today you're gonna go race Usain Bolt. Like it doesn't work that way, right? You need to practice. You need to get your conditioning up, right? You have to stretch out, get your legs ready to be able to race somebody like Usain Bolt. It's the same thing in trading, right? You're not gonna start learning how to trade yesterday and then jump on US 30. It just doesn't make any sense. So, but to each their own. Everybody, it is what it is. But this is the reason why you see a lot of top traders. And I say top traders, I don't even mean top traders. I mean people on Instagram that you see that are have the followings who look at charts. Because again, I can't call them traders. Most of them don't win because they're trading pairs that they shouldn't be trading because they don't know how to trade. And the same type of money that they're making on US 30 and gold is the same money that they'll be making trading a safer pair like AUD USD or Euro USD. And they move the exact same way. And again, we have proof of that. We have proof that every single pair in the market, it doesn't matter what market you're in, it doesn't matter if you're in Forex, if you're in futures, if you're in options, if you're in trading micro pairs, whatever that's called, right? It doesn't matter if you're in binary. So it's all the same thing. Right? It doesn't matter what type of trader you are. If you're a scalper, a day trader, a swing trader, it doesn't matter. A hedge fund trader, the market moves the same for everybody. It's just understanding structure at the end of the day. So GA will be looking for that pullback. We'll come back to this pair in 2 seconds. GCAD, yeah, GCAD just gave us a simple break and retest. That's pretty much all this was. This didn't really give us a steep pullback, and it gave us a pullback with one candle at 6 a.m. So, like, really, if you weren't looking at this pair at 6 in the morning, that was pretty much it. That was the trade for GCAD, but that's okay. We finally got the change. We finally got the break. Now we're gonna be looking for a steeper pullback. Not only that, we have a day of rise yesterday. Today we have the second day of rise. We already know what tomorrow is, 372. So we already know that GCAD is gonna be a good pair to look at going into tomorrow's trading session. We'll continue to look at it until it hits STP to see if price wants to give us a pullback. Got a little lucky here, got a trade. US 30 finally moving again. I'm gonna wait till 9:30 to see what type of trades we could take on US 30. I'm not gonna force anything right now. Same with USD CAD. USD CAD, we're in the zone of consolidation in the lower time frame, still making lower lows and lower highs, but we're also on a 4-hour engulfing candle. So right now, on the fact that we're on this 4-hour engulfing, could this be a good area to take like a small trade just for STP for the day? 100%. Right? I also do like that price gave us that gap in the market. So that does make me believe that at 9:30 when the NYC market opens, we're gonna have a crazy like kind of just pullback, a wick candle, if you will, give us a closure of that gap to then continue that push to the top side. Let's calculate STP for this one real quick. 134 pips is ADR. STP is 89 pips. We'll say this is the low for the day. Back it. And then 89 pips. Okay, 89 pips. So we'll continue to look at USD CAD. USD ZAR is kind of very similar as well. At 20 minutes for this 4-hour candle to close. Bottom wick, top wick. Yeah, this is a nice engulfing candle. We could get that closure above. So this would be a good pair to keep an eye on as well. Very similar to USD CAD. And again, would make sense with what we're looking at. Right? We know USD CAD and USD ZAR move opposite of US 30. So since we're looking for uptrends on USD CAD and USD ZAR and gold and US 30, you can see that price is already giving us that downtrend push. You know, we could already start getting ready to look for those trades, and that would mean that gold is going to push up to the top side. And again, that's okay. We know that the market has two moves, a trend or a zone of consolidation, and that's exactly what we're in right now, a zone of consolidation where prices rejecting lows and rejecting highs the entire time. So we'll continue. We'll come back to gold. It would be great to have a quiz in future based on objectives ABC. Yeah, we used to have on the website. We used to have like quizzes, right? So like, especially for the people doing the course through the website, you know, you had your lesson plan. Everything was set up the way we used to have it. Um, you know, you would go through the lessons. At the end of the lesson, you'll take a quiz. If you pass the quiz with 95% or higher, then you go on to the next quiz. If you take the quiz and you get below 95%, you have to go through it again, and you can't pass unless you pass the quiz. You can't go on to the next lesson. Um, so it's like the same thing with the website that we have now on WAP that we were talking about on Discord. I saw that there was like a section that you could put a quiz. So we'll definitely have to set it up that way where I'll start posting lessons. Um, but you know, I have to record the videos and do all that. So I'll have to have a little bit of time to do that again. Good morning, Jessica. Great rising, great rising. So right now, Bitcoin, oil, I'm not really interested in. Gold, nothing right now. Like I said, we're gonna wait till 9:30. Then I like this. Yeah, it's like a lot of these pairs look really decent to trade today. Would really want USD CAD to give me a pullback before going to STP. GCAD, yeah, GCAD already gave us STP. So yeah, if you didn't take any of these trades here, especially this one right here, just this little pullback, if you didn't take this trade, then you were done for the day. There's really nothing else left. So GCAD we could turn off. We already know that's done. GA, we closed the gap. No, we didn't. We're good. We're good. We're good. Gap was not filled. All right. Now again, the question with GA is, where are we going to find this entry? Right? Because again, nice. We have a 30-minute engulfing. That's perfect, right? It's beautiful. It looks great. We have an inducement of the low of the zone of consolidation. After the inducement of the low, we had the lower time frame change of character, left us with an engulfing candle. Not only that, on the pullback of the engulfing candle, price left us with a gap at the top of the market. So right now, this looks like the highest probability trade we're ever gonna get this week. With that being said, right? Once again, our stop loss in this entry is 50 pips, right? 52 pips. Is that a good area? Not really. I'm not trying to risk 50 pips. Even though TP is good, 184 pips, 185 pips, it's good, right? But with a 50 pip stop, you know, what's your lot size gonna be, right? So the whole point is now we know we're in this point of interest. This engulfing candle is a point of interest. Do we have anything else here telling us, okay, this is where we should start looking for price, or we should start looking for our entries? We should be looking for engulfing candles in the lower time frame. We should be looking for gaps in the market. We should be looking for the retests. right? And right now we don't have none of that. We have no gaps in the market, no engulfing candles, structure not even, because we're just straight green candles. Right? Let's go look at the 1 minute. In the 1 minute we had lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, higher low. Right? Just 1 minute structure moving around. We could stay on the 1 minute time frame, right? No prices of the EMAs either, no bounce off the EMAs. We could stay here on the 1 minute and just wait for that 1 minute shift, right? And we know that that 1 minute shift, we had lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, and then price came back down and gave us a lower low. So we'd be looking for a change of character break of structure on the 1 minute time frame, which wouldn't be a bad idea technically speaking. Um, so let's just be patient with it. Let's keep our eyes on GA. Look at trade locker and see if we have any gaps down here, anything that's not missing on another server. No gaps. No gaps in the market. We'll keep this on a lower time frame too. Check this. Do we have any lower time frame engulfing candles? And we'll look at that too. So we'll just be patient here. We'll be looking for the change of character break of structure to happen before looking at anything else. And then let's open up the charts on another pair real quick. So that we could so once again US 30, we'll wait till 9:30. USD CAD, perfect. I'm gonna want to put an alert here. I don't want to miss that. What is that? Oh, that's a red candle. This I'm gonna put it at the start here. An alert. Create. Is it gonna add it this time? Perfect. Thank you. Alright, so USD CAD will add the alert. USD ZAR. Let's go down to lower time frame on USD ZAR because it came back down to the gap. So let's see if we have an opportunity for USD ZAR. Low, low. Let's go to 1 minute. Right, because at this point, all we have on the 5 minute is a change of character, which is good. Right, change of characters are good. We have the cross of the 50 and the 200. Problem would be where would we put our stop loss? Right, so that's what I'm more wanting to look at. No engulfing candles in the 15, nothing on the 5. On the 1 minute, right? If we go down to the 1 minute now, right? We know we had price give us low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, right, low, and boom, higher, high. So 1 minute change of character break of structure, not really, unless we got a steeper pullback and we have an engulfing candle back at these lows on the 1 minute. But I don't think price is gonna give us that steep of a pullback. And we have nothing else over here. Right, so right, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, change of character. And then you had boom, lower low. Sorry, I put this in the wrong place. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Higher high, change of character. Lower low, change of character. Higher high, change of character. So we know that we're trading between this change of character, right? And we know that we're looking for price to break these highs, right? And the last red candle before the push to the top side, I'm not going to be looking for these lows. I'm looking at these lows over here, right? Because this was where price gave us the pullback to then continue, right? So if I were to take a trade here, number one thing I'll be looking at, let's do this. This is where the entry could have been on the, right? So the entry's here. Stop loss would be below here. So we'd be looking at a, again, 50 pip stop loss. USD CAD will be looking for that closure. I would like to see that closure. That would be a good entry. And then gold will wait till 9:30. My bad. Can we say AU is down in the 30-minute time frame, but making higher highs and higher lows? 384. Yeah, 384. Well, you would just grab. Then what pair are we on? USDR. Um, I don't grab the entire numbers. So, like for example, on USDR, I'd be grabbing 384. I wouldn't be looking at the last number, right? So 384 pips minus 33%. For example, on US 30, I'm looking at 158, right? So 158 minus 33%. So I'm just looking at like the first three numbers or the first two numbers. Um, on a pair like GA, right? 353 pips. That's what I'm looking at, right? I'm either looking for three numbers or two numbers. I'm trying to find the low pip pair, but there isn't none anymore because of this week, right? AU 126 pips. Let's look at this one by one real quick. Let's see if we have any pairs below 100 pips. If it's below 100 pips, it's just 90 pips, 80 pips, 70 pips. If it's a two-digit number, it's a two-digit pip, right? If it's a three-digit number, then you're just looking for the three. If it's above three digits, then you're just looking at the first three. You're not looking at anything else. Um, whatever, it's the same shit. Nah, cause that's not what it is. Cause like if a pair that has 10,000 pips, you're not gonna be looking 10,000. You're only looking for the first three numbers. So you'll be just looking at 100. Not really. If uh, Not really. Like if you don't know the rules and you look at Bitcoin for example, and you have fucking this huge ass number, if you don't know to only look at 446, like if nobody tells you that, it's not really common sense. You know what I mean? If you don't really know it, you're just gonna grab whatever. But yeah, for example, Jessica, if you're looking at Bitcoin, you see like a fat ass number like this, just grab the first three numbers. So like 446 pips is what you're looking for. Same thing, like for example, gold, right? I'm not looking at 69,000. I'm just looking at 696 pips. So then you just grab 696 and then you subtract it by the 33%. Right? Oil 327 pips minus 33%. Yeah, that'd be crazy. GA is getting in the area. GA gave us a nice 1 minute engulfing. Top and bottom work. Yeah, but no bottom work on the red candle. My trade locker doesn't have that work either. Thanks, no problem. It's Goody Mohammed. Doing good, my brother. Doing good. I can't complain. How about you?
Oh, it's not. Oh shit.
Let's just focus on GA for right now. So, boom, GA. Well, not yet. Close to that stop loss if you were to take in that 1 minute.
Man, straight to stop loss.
Straight to fucking stop loss, man.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we can get like a 15-minute off of this 30-minute or something. Just a bit of a smaller stop loss.
Nice engulfing candle in the 1 minute.
Again?
This time we got top and bottom wicks. Looking good.
Oh yeah, the one that just printed. What's
Doing good, broski. Good to hear that, Mohammed. AU, I think already hit STP for the day, if I'm not mistaken. I'll go to that now. Give me a second. Let me I just don't want to miss this trade here. Change this shit real quick. AU, we'll go back to this on why I wasn't looking at AU. But AU pretty much, what time is we got 50 seconds? AU pretty much is still giving us higher highs and higher lows, right? We're sitting at a higher high. Could we look for a pullback down into a higher low? Yes. Also, yes, we're in this engulfing candle that we talked about yesterday. But what I wanted to see here in the lower time frames, I wanted to see a change of character, break of structure happen at these highs, and we don't have that right now. Structure is it's pretty big here. So when we're looking at it, we're pretty much still trading between this 1 minute, 5 minute high and this 1 minute, 5 minute low. So we're still trading higher highs and higher lows. So unless we could get an engulfing candle on the lower time frame, or we could get price to give us a change of character, break of structure, then I'll start looking to take those trades. So AU, I'm still waiting for that to happen. US 30. Look at GA real quick. Still going down. We'll wait for this to slow down before anything else. 30 is still good. DCAT is still good. ZAR is still in the same area. We'll wait for that shift. This is why I don't like taking trades like that. Right? With no real confirmation as to where entries or exits are going to be, is because they're just going to do something like this. They're going to just tap your stop loss and then go right back up. So again, just going to be patient on ZAR. I'll wait for the change of character, break of structure to happen before anything else. Um, we'll keep an eye on these pairs here. And then gold, Bitcoin, and oil, like I said, I'll wait till 9:30. Same with US 30. Then we'll go on from there. Like the GA, yeah, you can see price. It's trapping traders. Gonna wait for the lower time frame change and BOS to happen on GA as well. And then we'll go on from there. We could still see price giving us lower lows and lower highs, so we'll see what price wants to do here. It was either that or crickets, man.
Some of either that or crickets.
All right.
We need a sound for straight to stop loss.
Straight to stop loss. That's what we're gonna do.
Cloud. Raise up my chair a little bit.
A little wide.
Adrian.
Oh, 9 o'clock. Alright, guys, we got 30 minutes left. We went for GA to change card to go long. Yep, was good, Adrian. Yep, GA. I'll be waiting for that change of character break of structure if we could get it in somewhere in this area in this engulfing candle that we have on the 30-minute time frame. Right, so we got a 30-minute engulfing after it induced our lows in the zone of consolidation. So I'll be looking for price to give me a lower time frame now, change of character break of structure to go back up to the top side. And we know we have this gap here at the top, so if we could get that change of character break of structure, my first TP is going to be the closure of the gap once we get that push. GCAT already hit STP, which is good, right? We got 2 days of rise, which is good. We got the break of structure after the change of character, which is good. We got the break above the 800 EMA, which is also good. So we'll be keeping our eyes on GCAT going into tomorrow's trading session. Now for AU, again, we're still making higher highs and higher lows. So to answer back the question that Albert had earlier, the fact that we're still making higher highs and higher lows, and lower time frame we're still higher highs and higher lows, we haven't gotten a change of character or a break of structure just yet. This is the reason why I'm not looking at this pair as of right now. If price could go back into the engulfing candle and just give us a new high, right, then we know we'll be left with this low and this high. So once price gives us, the lower lows and lower highs, then we'll start looking to take these trades to go back down to the bottom. So AU, we just got to be a little patient with it. I'm not going to rush into it. And then again, either way, these highs are still low probability because these lower highs that we have here are just lower time frame lower highs. But if we go up to the higher time frame, then again, we know that the lower high could be a lot steeper, right? This pullback to the top side could be a lot steeper before we go short again. So gonna be patient with AU. I'm not gonna rush into anything just yet. Um, Real quick, right? Again, US 30. I'm gonna wait till 9:30 before I say anything. USD CAD and USD ZAR will be looking for pullbacks into these gaps, which look good now. Again, lower time frame on USD ZAR, we have the change of character. So if we could get a change of character break of structure, that'd be good. If we could get a lower time frame engulfing candle, that would also be pretty decent. So we just gotta be a little patient with that. And then gold, Bitcoin, and oil, just again gonna wait for 9:30 because we don't have enough information with these candles that have printed today, and for the week because again we've been stuck in zones of consolidation with a lot of these pairs. So just gonna be patient, gonna wait till 9:30. Once we get the volume at 9:30, then we will have a little bit more clarity as to where price wants to go. Same with oil, right? We could look like this could potentially be a type 1 pattern. Again, we're stuck in a zone of consolidation. So the fact that price didn't break these lows, right? We could say that this is just going to be where price is going to give us this push again back to the top side. So a lot of assuming done here. Not really any clear moves happening just yet. GA is still giving us lower lows and lower highs. So gonna just give it a few minutes, guys. We'll see what price wants to do.
Because even EA is reaching those previous lows. So if EA could give us an inducement of those lows, then after that, that'd be a bit more confluence with GA
Right.
as far as yeah. So that'd be good to watch. EA is almost at those previous lows. So and it's and within these lows, there's the 30-minute 800 EMA.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, that could be decent, man. Definitely one. What's the price move? You already. Oh, I'm looking like, bro, what? I'm looking like, bro, what? What? Yeah, boy. Boy, ain't no way.
US30 looks like a nice type 1 pattern going short, especially when we have that 4-hour engulfing candle.
I was looking at that
But it's
4
such
hour
a ugly
engulfing
4-hour
candle.
engulfing though.
Yeah, that's what
Mad
I was gonna
ugly.
say.
Mad ugly. The only reason I'm adding it is because every other confluence that we have, right? We have a 30-minute 800 EMA. We have 30-minute where price has tapped these highs, right? Multiple times already. 15-minute time frame. We have the zone of consolidation, the break, right? Then the push. So, could this just be the continuation? Then we go down to the lower time frames. The crossings of the 50 and the 200 going below, right? When we're looking at structure, we're still pretty much trading between low, high, lower, low, higher high, lower low, change of character, right? And we're still trading between the lower low, change of character, and the lower high. So even when we're looking at it like this, it's like, okay, we're still in a downtrend. We know it's just a change of character. It could just be an inducement. But now, not only do we have the inducements of these lows that could be inducements, but we know that we definitely have inducements of the highs that are 100% inducements of the highs, right? Not only that, but we know that we're on the 800 EMA and we still haven't broken, or we still haven't had a clean break above the 800. So that's already letting me know, okay, cool. These downtrends are most likely the way to look at the market right now. And again, 5 minute time frame. There really is no lower time frame structure when it comes to this at this point. We're still trading between the change of character, lower low. Maybe on the 1 minute we could get away with saying this is lower low, lower high, lower low, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and we consolidated up until the break over here, and then we have boom, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then we say that this is a change of character, higher high, right? So in the 1 minute, and I'm not gonna really sit here and look at structure on the 1 minute time frame. That's just not gonna happen, especially not on US 30. 5 minute though, we look good. 5 minute looks good. 5 minute, we have these gaps at the bottom of the market, So it's one of those things where we have a lot of confluence. It does look good. Um, and you know what? If yeah, we still got that gap. So we'll and there's a 30-minute gap too with this candle that open. So 4 hour time frame, I'll be looking at US 30. I'll be looking for that price to give me that engulfing. If we get an engulfing candle, then perfect. If we get that retest, that'd be the best trade we could get. If we could get this engulfing in the 30-minute, could we get away with getting into an early trade? Yes, but then we run the risk that at 9:30, like let's say we get into a trade now, our stop loss is gonna be up here, which would be the same with the engulfing candle. But when it comes to the engulfing candle, or when it comes to how price is gonna move at 9:30, what it does every single time. Look what happened here. What if price decides to do something like this at 9:30, right? What if price decides to do something? The what? What if? Yep, exactly. All right, let's look at another day that we had news this week, so it's gonna be difficult to find what I'm looking for. But another example is like this one, right? At what time? 9:30, 10 o'clock. What if price does something like this today? All right, let's go look at a most. Let's go look at a actual candlestick from an actual week in the market, right? Wait, month? Exactly, the end of March. Perfect. Right, boom. 9:30 candle. What if price decides to do something like this? Right? What if price decides to do something like this? Where again, it's just a straight green candle at one point, induces, and then goes back down. Right? These days, price just consolidated. Off. Right? This day, what did price do? Look at the wick. It wicked the lows. Made everybody believe price was going to go down. Then what happened? Went right back up to the top side. So again, what if price does that today and gives us that crazy wick that US 30 knows how to do? There's no point. There's no point in risking that trade. So I'll wait for the 4 hour confirmation first, which again will be right after the 9:30 open. We got 40 minutes for that. And then after we got that 4 hour confirmation, and not only that, we'll also have the 9:30 confirmation, because if price decides to give us a push down to the bottom and then a pullback, but it gives us a nice break of these lows that we have here, then we know, cool, we have a break, we have a retest, so then continue. So we'll be patient with US 30. GA is still giving us lower lows and lower highs. USD CAD looks like it wants to push down. And again, going back to everything else that I was saying, remember what I was talking about these other pairs. If USD CAD and US 30 and USD ZAR move opposite. USD CAD, USD ZAR, if they go up, 30 is going to go down. Vice versa. If USD CAD, USD ZAR go down, 30 goes up. Right? So with all of that being said, the fact that USD CAD both USD CAD and USD ZAR look like price wants to start giving us that push to the top side is another reason why I'm looking at US 30 the way I am, going short. But not only that, structure on US 30 also looks like price is gonna go short. So it's already just giving us extra confirmation, a little bit more confluence to start looking for trades. So again, what I don't like about a lot of these pairs, specifically USD CAD, we're still trading, technically speaking, lower low, lower high, lower low. So if we notice it, we had a lower high made here, right? And in this lower high that was made here, we rejected highs and went short. We rejected highs and went short. We rejected highs again and went back down. So what would I have loved to have seen first? I would have loved to have seen price give me a break of structure or retest to then continue. So this is just a clean view right now as to why I wouldn't even really be looking for trades on USD CAD. So I'm glad that I was able to see this and explain this on stream, right? Where again, we have so much confirmation, right? When it comes to, or I need people to stop calling me at this time. When you have so much confirmation on one single time frame, but then there's the confirmations aren't market structure. Confirmations are patterns. At the end of the day, the confirmations that we have right now are patterns, right? Engulfing patterns, inducements of the lows, triple tops, triple bottoms. When we're looking at structure, when we're looking at how price is moving, lower lows and lower highs, and where price is giving us the lower high, you know, once you start connecting it, like, okay, well, this is a lower high, and then you start connecting patterns to it, which is a triple tops, right? A triple top when it's just inducements without a break of structure, you know price is going to go back down. But if we would have had a triple top, but price would have given you a valid break of structure retest, and price would have been doing something like this, then we know we could take a trade here to go back up to the top side. And zero drawdown. Now, could price still technically do that? Yeah, of course. But our confirmations, our rules aren't being hit. So right now for USD CAD, I'm not going to be able to take a trade. USD CAD, I'm going to be patient with. USDs are a little bit different, right? But they move the same. But structurally, they look different. Structurally, USDs looks a little bit better because we at least had that change of character. We had the inducement, we had the change of character. Now 3 days of drop. Going counter. Price already gave us a third day and started to push back to the top side. So again, I'm not gonna really take any trades right now. Gonna wait till after 9:30. I'm not gonna force any trades. There's no point in losing trades. The same thing with GA, right? We would have forced a trade right before 9 o'clock, and we would have forced this 1 minute engulfing after tapping into a 30-minute engulfing. We would have hit stop loss. We never had anything. We had no confirmations. All we had was an engulfing candle. Okay, cool. But what about structure? Structure, we're still making lower low and lower high. So why am I going to take a trade going long when price is still giving me lower lows and lower highs? Right? So what am I looking for? I'm looking for price to start giving me higher highs and higher lows. Once price starts giving me higher highs and higher lows, boom, we start taking those trades. What happened, Kanda?
Nah, it's just the risk of like just being a set out that drawdown too.
Yep, exactly.
Not worth it.
So and exactly what we were talking about, that was the first thing we talked about, which was a stop loss. Like, why am I going to take a trade as soon as price gets in the engulfing candle and having to risk 50 pips for my stop loss? It makes no sense, right? And look what patience does. We went from having a 50 pip stop to half of that, right? 30. A little bit more than half. That's okay. I would rather risk 30 pips than 50, but I would still not want to risk 30. The most you would ever see me risk is 22 pips. That's it. Anything above 22 pips, I'm not doing. So all good. Once price gives us, and the best thing about it too is once price starts giving you that internal higher high and higher low, you don't have to put your stop loss at the bottom of the zone of consolidation. You're gonna be putting your stop loss at the bottom of the structure. So instead of risking 30 pips, you're really just gonna be risking 10 pips, 5 pips. So this is just another reason as to why I'm patient. Like, I would rather have the best stop loss I could get. If I missed the entry because I was being too patient, then it is what it is. It wasn't my trade. It wasn't my entry. My rules weren't being followed, so did I really miss the trade? No. It wasn't following your rules. You didn't take the trade. That's really what trading is at the end of the day. It's following your rules, right? Same thing with oil. Like, yes, this looks dope. It looks good for a type 2 pattern to go short. But again, the problem is that where are we trading? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Did we ever get a break of the lows? No. So why would I take a trade here understanding that price is still not giving us lower lows and lower highs? 30-minute time frame, we're trading higher high and higher low right now. So again, Why would I be looking for shorts when price hasn't given us any confirmation that price is going to go down? If anything, it gave us a confirmation that price isn't going to go down when price gave us the inducement to the lows at a shoulder head shoulder. So it's like, again, it's good being able to see the market the way we see it. Really good, because you understand the ways, you understand when and where the market is gonna, or the market makers are going to trap traders. And right now, that's exactly what's happening. We've been seeing that for the last 4 days. And again, what I mean by trapping traders, zones of consolidation. In a zone of consolidation, how many contracts are being collected? And if you notice it, on almost every single pair has been just consolidating for the last 3 days. Yo, give me a second, guys. Right? So gold, we know that we're in a zone of consolidation. We're starting from the bottom from the top. Right? If there's a pair that's not consolidating, we'll talk about it. Right? USD ZAR, today's been the first day from the end of yesterday's session to today. That's when price has been consolidating. Right? USD CAD has been consolidating since yesterday. Right? US 30 has been consolidating since yesterday. Technically speaking, we could say that all of this is a zone of consolidation because price has already tapped into these highs and tapped into these lows. So technically, we've been consolidating since the end of Thursday. We'll say that, of last week. So again, we just understand that we're in a zone of consolidation for a lot of these pairs. We just got to be patient. That's really all that it is. Once we get the breaks of these zones of consolidation, once we get the inducements, that's when we start taking the trades. And right now, we haven't gotten any of that. Right? GU has been trending up the entire time, so nothing there. GU also has been kind of trending up, but again, this is still kind of a zone where we could say that we're in a zone of consolidation because price has already, that was a horrible line. Price has already tapped into these highs and tapped into these lows multiple times. So technically, yes, we're still stuck in a zone of consolidation. GJ was consolidating last week for 2 days until it gave us the break, right? So GCAT is that one pair that looks really good that we talked about. We got the change, we got the break. Now we're looking for the retest, right? We have 2 days of rise. We already know tomorrow we'll be looking for a trade, for an entry to get into this trade for the 372. So GCAT has been the best looking pair since last week. GA, as we can see, already drawn up in a zone of consolidation. We talked about that. EU, zone of consolidation at a higher high. What are we gonna do? Right, at a higher high, we're gonna continue to make higher high, higher high, higher high, or is price gonna go down? Right, so right now, 3 days of rise, chilling. Price is just moving sideways. It's been moving sideways since the end of Friday. EuroCAD, same thing, has been just consolidating. EA has also just been consolidating. Right, since yesterday and today, we've just been making lower lows and lower highs, but that's going counter against the trend. And then, the last pair on our list that we look at, AU, has been also just pushing up to the top side, moving counter trend. And again, price went back into the engulfing candle, and you can see that price is still just pushing to the top side. So I'm not interested in AU, right? It's a point of interest that we had on the market, which was the 15-minute engulfing, but understanding that the lower time frame, lower lows and lower highs that we see, right, which is on the 4-hour time frame, lower low and lower high, is not the real structure that I want to see. I want to see it on the daily time frame. And on the daily time frame, we're trading lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So I know that I could get a pullback anywhere in this area, from here to here to here to here, up until here, right? Up until here. So I have my point of interest. Engulfing candles, the EMA bounces, the gap in the market, the top of the zone of consolidation, and then our daily high. We have all of these as points of interest and then we also have the fib retracements, obviously, right? The 23.6, the 38.2, the 50%, the 61.8. All of those are also points of interest in the market, right? So understanding, okay, cool, we got to our first point of interest pullback on AU. Perfect, we're there. Are we gonna get in as soon as price gets there? No. What do we have to wait for? Well, now we have to wait for price to start making lower lows and lower highs. Is price making lower lows and lower highs? No, we're still making higher highs and higher lows the entire time. So right now we can't look for any entries on AU. We just got to be patient. So you see how every single rule that we're using, we need to use them every single day. Every single day. On every single pair, doing the exact same thing all the time. There's no difference. Again, the markets some days they're gonna be boring. They're gonna be boring. You're gonna want to just take a trade for the fuck of it because you got nothing else to do. I feel you. I get that. I understand that. Sometimes the markets aren't meant to be traded, and that's okay. Could you find little entries? Yeah, but I'm not interested in little entries. I'm not interested in a 1-to-1. I'm really not, because I would rather catch a 1-to-10, a 1-to-7, a 1-to-6. I would rather catch something that's actually going to be comfortable, right? Looking at STP, looking at ADR, looking at structure. In a zone of consolidation, STP isn't going to be hit. In a zone of consolidation, price is just going to consolidate within the range. What if the range is lower than STP? STP is not going to get hit. What if the range is higher than STP or ADR? Well, then you know STP is going to be hit, but now that's all you want to catch. You don't want to go for ADR, you don't want to go for the highs because price could flip at whatever moment. So these are also things to consider as to, again, why I've been saying what I've been saying since Sunday, which is, again, these pairs moving and telling you that we have 400 300 pips as STP on pairs that move 60 to 80 pips on a day-to-day basis on a regular doesn't make any sense. Topping that with the fact that we're in a zone of consolidation, I'm not expecting a pair like AU to give me 100 pips in a zone of consolidation because that's not how big a range is on AU. It doesn't make sense. Mathematically, it doesn't make sense. So again, a lot of these pairs, we just gotta be patient. Again, unless you want to get into a trade and do something like this, like how it is on US 30, and you want to get trapped in wicks and some crazy ass movements, then by all means, you could force any trade you want. But again, we don't have to go so fancy and talk about US 30 and gold and Bitcoin. Like, again, let's just take a look at GA. Let's look at how many times price has trapped traders. So we're seeing it on every single pair. The way you trade one pair is the same way you're going to be trading every single pair, because again, it doesn't matter what market you're in. It doesn't matter what pair you're trading. The stock market is traded the exact same way across the board. Candlesticks mean the same thing. The gaps mean the same thing. How price is moving means the same thing. There's no difference. Only difference would be volume and how the news affects it. And if you figure out what time there's volume, which again, in a regular stock market, what time is there volume? 9:30, when the fucking stock market opens, and then after lunch, 1 p.m., 2 p.m., you'll have another move. So that's just regular. When you're looking at indexes, same thing. Commodities, same thing. You're looking for volume to happen at what time? 9:30, 10 o'clock. You know when the volume is going to happen. So talk a lot today, man. If Mike was in here, he would already have so many clips for us to start posting shorts on YouTube and shit. But he don't care, man. But if my name was fucking Mamba Trades or fucking the goddamn FX Alex G, he'd do that shit in a heartbeat. Yes, master, please. Fuck you, Mike. And look, Kendall's not even here defending you, man. He's supposed to be your friend. Knock knock, yo, Kendall. He don't care about you, Mike.
Yo, how'd you get back?
You didn't even hear what I
You
said.
said what?
I was making fun of Mike.
What happened?
I was saying I was yapping a lot today, but I've dropped a lot of gems. If only Mike was here to get the clips,
Oh man, if only Mike was here to get the clips, man.
right? If my name was Mamba Trades or FX Alex G, he'd be here in a heartbeat, man.
Man,
That dude
it's
Mike is
crazy
fake.
how yeah, Mike ain't really been too active lately, man.
Yeah, Mike, you gotta step it up, man.
I don't think Mike locked in, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Where's Mike at, man? I just gave so much content. Man, Mike. But yeah, guys, so that's what we're waiting for, man. We got 20 seconds for 9:30. Again, we'll wait it out. If we were to be impatient already being a trade on US 30, we'd be in drawdown, man. And that's not what I like to see. That's not what I like to see. Not yet. To be honest, no. Because of just how the candle is printed. No, no crazy volume on GA. We'll continue to just move. We'll continue to see this on the 1 minute here. US 30, nothing. What are you talking about for the 4 hour? No, the 4 hour was valid. The second green candle closed above the first. But it's just how the first candle printed. Like it's not really a strong candle. But yeah, candle flip now. So and if you notice the last what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the last 6 US 30 4 hour candles have just been exhaustions to the highs and exhaustions to the lows. There hasn't been any clean breaks. And again, if you go down to the lower time frame, what we were just talking about, this is just a zone of consolidation. Where again, price has just been rejecting highs and rejecting lows. Like the market is at every single time frame, the market is telling you exactly what you need to see. But if you don't understand candlesticks, it's not you're not gonna be able to see that. It's gonna be very difficult to see that. But this is why understanding that on every single time frame is very important. Right? Like being able to see that what we talked about on the 30-minute time frame, these exhaustion candles that we have, right? And then being able to see where price is rejecting highs and rejecting lows, and then being able to confirm that on a higher time frame. And being able to see that the whole move at the end of the day again is still lower low, lower high, lower low. Understanding that any of these pushes back to the highs could be the lower high for price to continue back into the lower low. Like there's so much that the market is telling you that if you can't read that, it's gonna be very difficult to take a winning trade consistently. So I'm just gonna be patient. If I don't get another any other type of confirmations, then I'm not gonna force a trade. Again, the easiest way to avoid losses is waiting for the change of character break of structure. It's really that simple. There's nothing else. There's nothing more that you could do. Right? Lower low, lower high, lower low, high, change of character, lower low. So yeah, if we got another break, if we get a break below these lows, that's when I'll start looking to take a trade. Right? I'm not gonna force. That's okay, man. This is US 30. Yeah. 400, 400, 500 pips. Yeah. So that's really the thing. Is like, are we gonna for price to continue is low probability. Now we're getting exhaustion candles here on the 1 minute on GA. I like to see a 5 minute engulfing too, though. 'Cause at this point, a 15-minute engulfing would be a pretty big zone. Like, let's say this would be the engulfing candle. It'd still be a 20, 25 pip, 26 pip stop loss. Yeah, wouldn't be bad end of the day. But 100%, 100%. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's end of the day, it's still better than 50, but you could definitely get a lower time frame entry. A little bit, I would say higher quality too. Wouldn't say the 1 minute, but like the 5 minute, yeah. 5 minute, 100%. Well, I wouldn't be looking at the 235 pip range. I'd be looking at just the gap. Because either way, before price could even go up this high, what does price need to do first?
Clear that gap.
And then after that, what does it have to do?
No, I'm not even seeing that gap though. Hold on. It has to give us the break of structure.
Right, and then after it gives us this break of structure, what does it have to do?
Go hit the SCP.
No, it has to give you another break of structure. And then it has to go to STP. So again, what are the odds
But that's
that
what I'm
price?
talking about. Like
Yeah,
on
yeah.
a higher time frame, like a 5 minute, it has to give us that 5 minute break because all we have now is just change of character inside the engulfing candle.
Right. But the whole point that I was saying with these breaks is that with the other question, which is how much more is price gonna go up? Like, do we believe it's gonna reach STP or ADR? Right? And the answer really is no. And these are the reasons why. On top of the fact that again, this is a pair that doesn't move 300 pips on a regular basis. A pair that moves 120, maybe 130, 140.
Like even
Right? So
yesterday's movement
it
was
didn't do nothing.
154.
Exactly. And that's regular for
Day before
GA.
that,
As
day
a
before that, it was 191.
as a matter of fact, let's do this. We got something simple here.
And then after that, what? Even the day before that, the movement was 360, but that was when price was moving crazy. So I can't really say too much on that. The average weekly range is 621. So all you could really do is just like if you really wanted to calculate STP, you could just do 621 divided by 5, and then you got your STP. Or no, you have the ADR, and then
Like GA March 24th, exactly. Regular ADR for this pair is 140 pips. So again, for me to sit here and say that we're gonna believe that price is gonna move 353 pips or 236 pips with STP is crazy. It doesn't make any
and
sense.
price already did 150 already to give us
Exactly.
the change of character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point.
At this point, we really just playing with fire, honestly. Like it's
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
A lot of these pairs already, like I said, a lot of these pairs already did their moves. If they haven't done their moves, they're just stuck in a zone of consolidation. And either way, once they make the break, we're not even gonna be able to trade it because STP is gonna be hit already. So it's just more about being paid. Again, it's just showing the reality that trading isn't all about just sitting there and waiting to press a button. Like there's a fucking there's things that you have to take into consideration. There's things you have to understand before you even take a trade. And
Hey,
this
where's this gap at that you're seeing?
is right here on the 30 minute.
Oh, on the 30. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, because on the Wanda it's not on there, so I had to switch over to FX. But it looks like the gap is already filled on the 30 minute though.
Nah, missed
Yeah,
it.
that wick.
Nah, it is not on it. It missed it. You see it?
Are you doing the body candle or the?
Yeah, you have to do the body of the candle. That's what a gap is. You don't see that's how the
Nah,
candles
because
that's
like
how the candles
there's
open.
a. Alright,
The wick, but like remember the way the candles open in the market, they're gonna open next to you. So if you have a red candle closed here, you're looking for the green candle to open here and then close as a green candle, because
alright.
that's where the candles open. Now, if you have a candle that, let's say again a red candle, right? You have the wick, right? You know that the red candle closed here, right? If the green candle opens here, or I'm sorry, if another red candle opens here, right? And it has a wick that's like this, but it hasn't filled this, it's still here, right? That's where the gap is, because a candle is supposed to open here. It's not supposed to open here. That means that price at one point was at 2.08, right? 569, and then when price closed at 2.08569, price opened at 208,439. So it has a gap from here to here.
Alright, bet.
So that's what this is here. so much content. Yo, where the fuck is Mike at? Oh man. Oh man. Yo, Mike is not locked. God damn. Wasn't he earlier? Nah, he hasn't been in here today at all. Man, Mike. He said, bro, let me know if you're serious. I'm so serious, and he's not even here. I can't fucking believe it. Man. Bumbleclot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
might be it for the day, man. It ain't really shit going on. GA not really looking like it's. I mean, it's
I'll give it till 10:30 and then I'm done looking at trades for the day. 10:30 is my
got some
cutoff time.
risk to the downside, so we just gotta see, man.
Yeah.
Fuck,
We'll
like,
get another set of vol. Is like again, when does a volume come in on the market? It's 9:30, 9:45, 10, 10:15, 10:30. That's like when the volume is supposed to come in. If it doesn't do it at 9, it is, and it really starts at 8:45. If no volume is
right,
hit at 8:45, then we know we're gonna get volume at 9:30. If we got no volume at 9:30, then we know we're gonna get volume between 9:45 and 10:30. And then if we get no volume, then we know we're gonna get then we have to wait till after 12 p.m., 1 p.m. to start looking at price to start moving again. And again, days like that all depends on news as well. If we know we have news at 2 p.m., high impact news at 2 p.m., we know we're most likely not gonna get a move until 2 p.m. Right? And if there's no news in the market and price already gave you STP, then you're not gonna get no moves for the rest of the day up until the next trading session. So again, that's what's going on as well with a lot of these pairs. Realistically speaking, like you just said, pair already moved 160 pips. Are we really expecting a pair like GA to give us more than 160 pips? A pair that only moves 140 pips on a day-to-day basis? Doesn't make sense. But again, if you don't know these rules about the market, then you just wouldn't know that. You're trading blind. Like, you imagine if we didn't know those rules.
yeah,
We'd be so fucking lost. We'd be so lost in the market. Which broker chart? Right now I'm looking at FXCM. I think that's pretty much the broker that I have for all of these pairs. Yeah, FXCM.
yeah. The fact that I left that money on the table, bro, I'm bogus. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that was crazy out of you.
Cause it's not like that we getting most like it's not like that we're getting a lot of opportunities anyway.
Yeah.
So it's just like when I do get a 7 RR on top of a fucking I think 3 RR, like I have to capitalize off of that. So it's just like man,
You just gotta look at them. Every trade you take, you just gotta make sure you're not looking at them as home runs, right? Not in the sense that they're gonna be a millionaire, but just in the sense that again,
right?
if you take that trade every single day, again, how we talked about it earlier this month, right? How many 10K trades do you need to get your first 100K?
Right.
Like, how many trades have you already done this year? So if you think about it, right? So let's say if you use my trading journal, let's say you took 16 trades. If you had the same account size from the first time that you met at 10K to the first time that you took the trade, you would have had already 16 trades hit 10K. You would have already made your goal. So it's all about
Right.
patience and it's all about waiting for those trades. And again, if you go and you look at those trades that we have taken from this year, there hasn't been no bullshit trades. It's been anything above 1 to 5s.
Yeah. I went
So
1 to 7
exactly, you
and
just
I went
gotta
1 to 2.23.
take profit, yo. Once you see STP's done, that's it, bro. I don't give a fuck about news. I don't give a fuck about ADR. I don't give a fuck about who's talking at what time. Yo, as soon as if I'm in a trade and STP is hit, I'm fucking out of there. I don't care about anything else. Again, like I'm not gonna be greedy when I just caught 70 pips. I'm if I on a regular forex pair, I'm not gonna be greedy after just catching 200, 300 pips on gold US 30. They just
I was too focused on the 30-week high.
yeah. And third day high too.
Yeah, the third week 372.
Every broker chart looks different. Yeah, every broker, there'll be some that look identical, that look literally the exact same, and there's some that are gonna look a lot different. It's the same thing like when you go look at the NQ chart and you compare it to NAS 100, right? There'll be some differences and there'll be some similarities to them, even though it's the same pair, right? The difference is the servers, right? Different servers get different informations at different times. Some servers lag more than others, um, and it all depends on the region that they're in, right? They get information a little bit later. It takes them a little longer to receive the information, or their server might just be outdated for compared to the new one, so their server just takes a few milliseconds to update the chart. That's the reason why some charts have gaps and some don't. That's what a gap is in the market, right? Is whenever price moves too fast, right? Brokers that don't have an updated server, they'll have a gap in the market because price moved too fast for the program to give us the price. So that's the differences between the servers. And how do you know which server to use and which server not to use? You just got to backtest on it. And when I started using TradingView, that's the first thing I did was backtested my strategy, which server had the rules that I look at. And FXCM was the one that had it for the Forex pairs. Yo, where's Mike at? I have an hour 54 of stream time of just me giving out content. Yo, what the fuck? Mike is a scammer, man.
Mike don't want to get paid, man, because it's not like that you want to have him do it for free.
Fuck, man. Thank you.
It's not like that you were trying to have him do it for free either, man.
Nah, man. Mike's not locked, man.
Mike don't want to get paid on charts or like,
Or in
man.
real life.
Me
Tag him in the
sending
Discord real quick.
invoices to PayPal and all that stuff, bro.
Tag him in Discord real quick.
Tomato Playboy. That's crazy, man. All
I'm gonna do my push-ups while we wait. Hold on, we got lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, higher high, change of character technically.
right, it's about to give us a new low.
Let's see.
Don't give us the trade.
No, please. Give us an engulfing exhaustion candle under 1 minute after the change of character.
We might have
Let's
one.
see. Maybe, baby.
We might have something. Hold on.
And then you see like US 30 going pushing up like crazy. USD CAD, USDs are still pushing down like crazy. So, or USDs are actually not pushing down. So right now I'm just really waiting to see what price wants to do. Price for USD CAD could just fill this gap in, right? Stop price there to go up. US 30 could just be inducing these highs once again, because price what we're looking for price to break these highs over here, right? So price here on US 30 could just be inducing these highs, the same way that USD CAD is inducing lows, right? And then we'll see US 30 here go back down, and then USD CAD will see price here push back to the top side after filling this gap up. But again, everything is conflicting each other because again, USD CAD, in order for us to have seen price but continue this push to the top side, we wanted to see a break of structure of these highs. and price gave us an inducement of the high. So right now everything is just conflicting one another.
The same shit happened yesterday, honestly.
Yeah, just a
That's
whole
why
bunch
I
of
kind of been staying up for London, like it's just when we have a potential setup, like it's just I'm not really in the position to where like I could miss out on a trade that
right.
could
Yeah, you gotta
like
be up.
yeah like no, so it's like hey I'm up, I see it, I take it, same like that EU trade, like that EU trade was not a bad trade. But the fact that that was my weekly paycheck, bro, like I have to close out. So price at STP,
Yeah,
price at STP, and like what's so crazy is that like GU continued that push up, but EU didn't, bro. Like that shit, man.
it's because they saw that
Like
you
it was
entered
only
EU.
two pips, man. Like GU had gave us a whole new high and everything. Shit, that shit was still pushing. Like even like last night, that shit was pushing up last night. I was like, man, damn. But yeah, I mean, shit, like it ain't no excuse. Like, didn't follow my rules. Rules is if price gives you STP before the third week high, you use um you use STP as your take profit one. At least close out partial. I ain't even close out partials. Like, damn.
You gave that shit straight back to the market makers.
Straight back to the market makers,
It's
bro.
goddamn market makers, man. Always taking it all.
And then, like, it's not like the price didn't give me a chance. Price gave me a triple top on a 1 minute time frame, bro. Get the fuck out the trade, brother. Damn. But it's all good though. You know, I'm gonna pass my account, get my payout, pay my rent, refund my live account, and yeah, man. And yeah, man. That's it. Nice little 2-3K payout, bro. That's more than enough, man. That's all I need. Shit, 2-3K. I'm back chilling, man. And I can get it too. So it's like, hey, take your time. GA not fucking with us. GA about to hit the stops on this engulfing candle, so we could really stop looking at GA. That shit dumb for. No, ain't no point. It ain't no point in trying to make up some make believe shit, bro. Like no. The fact that price didn't even respect this engulfing candle how price normally does just shows us that like we ain't really going like if it's a real solid engulfing candle, price normally taps the engulfing candle and then goes straight into profit. But the fact that we even gotta sit here and look for this shit, like man, no point, my brother. gap there at the bottom. So we have, yo, I want some cookies, man. Ah, cookies don't sound bad right now. Actually, on gold, wait, hold on. Let me see what gold sounds like. High, 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 low, high, high. Oh shit. Yeah, gold looks exactly like US 30 right now. High, 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 high. What the hell? I bet this would be 5 minute structure anyway. So you got high, 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 low, high, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low. Then we got high, 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 low, high, high, lower, low, low, high, lower, low, high, high, lower, low, change of character, lower, high. This could potentially be a lower, low break of structure. Nothing. Yeah. USD CAD. Oh no. 'I said we're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. 'Snap, man. 9 o'clock. See if we get another change of character. We got another change of character at the bottom of the fucking zone. That's crazy. But we still got it. So let's go.
We got an ugly ass 5 minute engulfing candle too.
Yeah, we do.
GA.
Yeah,
But it
we
is
do.
valid. Top and bottom wick is just that body of the red candle is not really anything to be fond about.
It's crazy.
Right. In the lower time frame, we
Top and
have
bottom wick.
low, high,
Yeah, you
low,
had it
change of
on the
character.
top wick.
Here we do. Oh no, we don't.
No, we don't.
Oh man. Yeah, the 1 minute change of character.
So we have the 1 minute change of character, and then price is actually setting a new high. So I need kind of to push up a little bit more to set an actual high. That's all we need, my brother. That's all we need. Damn, bro, they not fucking with us, bro. I'm convinced, man. Like, what did we do? Oh my god, what did we do? Why treat us like this? Market makers. Whoa. Why market makers? Why? Damn. 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 It's the speaker knockers. Price gave that crazy wick, inducing the highs. Big fat ass zone of consolidation, man. Price didn't break the high just yet. So we're still trading between that high and that low. So the sales could still be on the table, but price just fucking playing ping pong right now. BTC gave bearish engulfing on a 15-minute time frame at those highs. Yeah, price gave a bearish engulfing on BTC. How does a 30-minute look? Oh, 30-minute didn't give us anything.
Bitcoin gives an exhaustion candle on the 30.
Yeah, gave us a huge exhaustion and then a 15-minute engulfing candle along with it. That actually engulfed, or did it engulf the wicks? It came close. On a consolidation with the toppers on a consolidation. Gold. Yeah, man. 9:30. If we don't have shit by 9:30, then I'm gonna just call it, man. We got an ugly. Oh, that's not even a 5 minute engulfing. But we do gotta change the character. Would I really want to consider this high breaker structure? Yeah, I mean, cause price did give us a pullback, so freak, man. Freak master flex, man. Freak master flex. Low, low, high, low, low, high, high, low. Let's see if price could give us that break on the 1 minute, man. What are you looking at on US 30 that has you so zoomed in?
Shoulder head shoulder here.
On the 1 minute?
Yep. Using the 1 minute, we're back at the highs. Right, we're back at a low. We're still making a lower high, so if price gives us an inducement of the highs or something here, then I'll be looking for price to continue that push back down to the bottom. Internal time frame. Lower low, lower high. Or I'm sorry, higher high, higher low, higher high. So if price gives us, and then that, we have a 1 minute shoulder head shoulder, like I said, and then we have the inducement to the highs already. The lower high was made.
So price could give us that break on the 1 minute.
I'm looking for engulfing candles This one would be a nice one. I'd be looking for engulfing candles, lower lows, lower highs, and start being formed. Like yo, there's people on TikTok right now trading, and this guy is fucking tweaking. Wish I knew what pair he was on though.
Tweaking like what?
Say please move price, please.
Man, I really don't be seeing why people get hyped though. Like when like they do in a trade, I don't really feel excitement when I on a trade. It's more so like calming in a sense. I be seeing guys on TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that, bro, and they be fucking screaming, jumping up and down. Like, granted, like trading is fun, but it's just like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I want to do this with you. Go look at the text messages.
All right, where's that quiz at, too, bro?
Yeah, I promise you. I'll do a pop quiz. Nobody's getting above 70%.
I bet I will.
Okay.
I gotta re-download TikTok. Paintball, what the fuck? Come on, man. There's no, there's gonna be some weird shit, bro. Then it don't like how you just said that. I just know there's gonna be some weird shit, man.
Oh, why though, man? Come on.
This is you, bro. That's why, bro.
Think I'm a freaky frog or something? Like what the fuck?
You are a freaky frog.
Yo, I can't believe motherfuckers are calling Prince a freaky frog, man. That's crazy. That dude is a freaky fucking frog. And this is crazy. Here's my number. So call me maybe. Damn.
Question.
These fucking allergies are crazy. I need to see that candle closure, man. Come on. Change of character. Yeah, do we say there's a change of character, break of structure here?
GA. Damn, GA? Bro, I look down, look back up. Fuck.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you.
Let me see what you sent me, man. Nah.
I'd rather turn
He slid
oil
right to his ass.
off. You gonna tell me that was a bad play?
He talking about bro aim for it. He talking about I got to take cover.
I'm not gonna look at Bitcoin anymore. I'm not gonna trade Bitcoin. These other pairs still got potential. So gold, especially these are. Okay, so gold, we got 20 minutes. Okay, so I'm not gonna look at gold yet because I'm still waiting for 20 minutes. ZAR, will put this in the 5 minute because we'll be looking for a 5 minute break. Our price already filled this gap up, so I could turn this off.
Look at GA's break.
Hold on, man.
Price.
Give me a minute.
Oh, big head ass, nigga.
Right, we'll be looking for a valid break, so we got 4 minutes for this one. Okay, cool. GA. This is what I was saying. Where GA, like, do we say that this is the change of character, break of structure here?
Exactly.
Like, I would rather want to see price. What are we, level 3? Yeah.
He high.
If price could give me
Yeah.
bounce off the
He high.
50, dude, I don't know. Would I say that? Would I say this is
Because price is still trading beneath the 800 EMA.
yeah.
So it's just like that's why it's like I was really kind of hands off with this shit to begin with, just based off the EMAs and stuff like that. And then like, is this 1 minute 50 EMA that strong? Like, yes, we got the break above the 50 EMA, but price rejected the 200, and it's like this 30-minute gap clearly it isn't that strong. So it's like, do I really want to make excuses for GA right now? No, not really. Then we got this 15-minute exhaustion candle. If price, because price did give a pullback though. It pulled back to that fake engulfing candle on a 5-minute time frame. So I mean, we can use that higher low as a fib. Price pulled back to the 61.8 as of right now. But yeah. But I mean, another confluence that we do have going long is the fact that that red candle that gave us the pullback doesn't have top wick. So I don't know, man. I'm not really too confident on GA as of right now.
Boom, straight to stop loss if you would have taken GA. Yeah, we'll wait for the valid break. We have the change that happened here. So we'll do this here with GA. We have the change of character, and now we're looking for the break. So we need to see a break above these highs with GA. Let's look at these other pairs. Boom, USDs are. We got a minute left. USD CAD, we're still looking for the retest of the gap, and then US 30 at this point. We'll see what price wants to do at these highs. So right now USDs is kind of the number one pair. We got 15 minutes left on gold. Got 2 minutes left.
Oh
A minute,
damn.
20 seconds.
We got a break on ZAR.
Yeah, we got the change.
STP is 257. So I mean,
Yeah, we're right there. I would want to see
yeah.
a steep pullback. It'll still be good. Like if we get an actual pullback on this, we'd have a
Like
nice little
200.
trade. Yeah, nice little trade. No, 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 too crazy. Like a 30
Like
pip.
that
Yeah,
TP
100 pip
trade.
TP. Just signed to pass the fucking funded account, man. And the same shit. Now GA would be a nice. But yeah, GA would be a nice trade though. Nice little trade. 50 pips. So that's why I'm just gonna be patient with
So
this.
you got USD ZAR and GA on the
And
table.
technically, again, we got the break. Technically, also we have USD CAD because USD ZAR and CAD move together. And if we also have USD ZAR and USD CAD, then we know we also have US 30. But US 30 right now is still looking like it wants to break these highs. Still hasn't really given us any. It's given us a lot of exhaustion candles, but no engulfing candles, nothing. That looks good.
USD
But
CAD
we could
gave a
say that
5 minute
US 30
engulfing,
now gave us a change of character higher high as well
but
in
it
the
didn't
1 minute.
break, close the gap.
And then no
That's
engulfing
another
candles here
break.
yet.
And
And
the other
GA gave us an engulfing candle, but you said what? No bottom wick and then no top wick. And no top wick either. GA is not ready yet. Well, it's a little bit
USD
ready, just let
CAD
me know.
gave a 5 minute engulfing candle, but it didn't fill that gap.
Yeah. Now I want to see that gap being filled first.
Yeah, no, that's weird. And then USD ZAR just gave us the break. So I would kind of want to see another candle close above this area first before pullback, just because the candle that gave us the break that isn't touching the highs doesn't have a top or a bottom wick on ZAR.
Yeah, I see that.
So
You want to see one more candle print up top, then look for it. What you want to see on USDZR? Yeah, I want to see a retest on USDZR. Before the retest, though, I want to see another candle print above with a wick, because the candle that closed above here on the 1 minute or on the 5 minute, it doesn't have a bottom or a top wick. So I would like to see a wick being printed here first, and then we'll look for a pullback. Once we get that pullback, that's when we'll look for a trade. Um, right, and then USD ZAR. If USD ZAR is going up, that means USD CAD is going up, and that means that US 30 is gonna go down. So for USD CAD, what I'm looking for before I take a trade, would love to see the gap being filled first. Would love for the gap that we have on USD CAD to be filled. If price could give us that gap, then that's a pretty easy trade. If not, then what I'm looking for first is going to be the break above these highs. Right? So before I even look for a trade, I need to see a break of these highs, regardless of what I'm looking for. And that's kind of the difference between CAD and ZAR right now, is that CAD has that little roof, that ceiling that we could see where price is being rejected. We don't have that on USD ZAR. So that's why I'm gonna be a little bit cautious while looking at these trades. That's why I'm being a little bit patient with the rules too. Being able to see these candlesticks and how they print, like, okay, this isn't a valid break just yet. We need to see another candle print because we have no top and bottom wicks. I don't want to get trapped into any of these trades. So again, I'm truthfully speaking, I'm not forcing any trades. Again, I'm giving it till 10:30, 10:45. We'll give it till 10:45 because that's the candle we want to see print, 10:30. If 10:45 doesn't give us any more information than what we already have right now, then I'm not gonna really look to take any trades. I'm just gonna
I
sit
think
it
you
out.
might call a Diddy, man.
Yeah, I'm just gonna chill for the rest of the day. We'll come back tomorrow
Call a Diddy, man.
for the trading session. We'll be back tonight for the isolation session.
So
So just gotta be patient with these trades a little bit. No need to rush it. No need to Really no need to rush it. That's the easiest way I could put it. Like, there really is no rush.
yeah.
Again, we just
Exactly.
for the last 2.5 hours we've seen multiple trades that if we would have taken them at 8, 8:30, 8:45, if we would have taken these trades, price would have hit stop loss. Right? We had that happen multiple times on multiple pairs. So just being able to see when the market is trapping traders and when the market is consolidating instead of trending or vice versa, again, that's the number one thing to capitalize on, where understanding when you need to just sit on your hands and understanding when you need to attack the markets. We have 22 seconds for that USD's R candle to close above too, so that's looking good.
Yeah, and look at
Yep, and the US 30 gave us another exhaustion candle. Gave us a higher high in the 1 minute.
1 minute.
No engulfing candles, but
I would love to see a break of this 800
pushing.
EMA on the 1 minute time frame, and then that'll really solidify our bias on the USD CAD and ZAR.
Yep. Yeah, I'm in no rush, man. We got a lot of pips to play with. We got hella pips to play with.
Yeah, so price could
And
break
then
this 800
GA,
EMA.
we have so many pairs to look at, man. We don't got enough screens.
So we don't got
GA,
enough screens.
fuck, man. Alright, J, we're still good. We're
But
still
I
looking
would
for
say
that.
keep
So
it
let's
on
start
WAP
here.
WAP.
US 30.
US 30
Gonna
is going
gonna give it a few seconds. USD CAD. We're looking for the break to happen. Again, I would love to see the break and another retest, but at this point, we're gonna get one or the other. So, and this is also
ZAR.
giving us a 30-minute engulfing candle too, where that top wick isn't there. No
Like
top wick.
ZAR.
So no top wick on USD CAD. We'll give that one. USDZR we have that open, and then gold we have a 30-minute engulfing candle, but no bottom wick on that green candle. So not even a valid engulfing candle. Um. 30-minute time frame. We're still trading. Dude, fuck, man. There's no structure. Zone of consolidation at the top of the zone of consolidation. Internal time frame. Still nothing. Like, nah, bro. I'm not gonna force that.
Hey,
I'm not trading gold. Okay.
I do not like US 30, bro. Just give a fucking exhaustion candle at the 800 EMA, man. Fuck. Well, I mean, this is the change of character push. If price could give us that break of structure and breaking the 800 EMA, then that'd be great. So still has hope, you know. ZAR is giving us
Hope is
that
not a
that
plan, my brother. Hope is not a plan.
no, I mean hope along with your rules and stuff like that, yeah. But hope, just the hope, nigga. This not the lottery, man. Shit, hope.
We'll see
But
how
without no
price
action
reacts.
behind it, ain't no damn.
We'll see how price reacts to this area here. It's gonna be a pretty big zone, but if we could get a break below, then that'll be good. Right, could this just be could
Break.
this could just be a lower low, lower high in the internal time frame, like in fractions of the table at this point with US 30. Um, but again, we want to be careful because we know that we just had a change of character higher high. So technically speaking, could this, these pullbacks back to the bottom could at any point be a higher low to continue into a higher high. And again, this is where USD ZAR and USD CAD are going to come into play. Where if we see USD CAD giving us valid breaks of these highs, right, and if we could see USD ZAR giving us, um, the valid breaks, which this fucking pair doesn't really want to do that, but we could see that it gave us a bottom wick and a top wick, and it did close above. So it didn't really do it cleanly, but and is not touching the break of structure line. So this could be good. I mean, at least USD ZAR is giving us confirmations that we want to see going long. But the two pairs that we want to see extra confirmations on are the ones that aren't really giving us any type of moves.
Right.
We could use Bitcoin as a confirmation too, as another confluence. We had an exhaustion candle going long at the top of the zone of consolidation, and it's pushing down. So no engulfing
Golden
candle.
candle came back to retest it.
Oh,
Huh?
it did. Yep, on the 15-minute, it gave us an engulfing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you that earlier, so you don't be
Yeah, yeah.
listening, man.
No, I heard you. So Bitcoin at least gave us some type of confirmation. So we'll see. We'll see what price wants to do here.
And it gave a 1 minute engulfing candle as well, but that first candle doesn't have a top wick, so yeah. Yeah, it gave us a 15 and then the 30-minute exhaustion candle. So similar to what US 30 is doing. Finally, this shit's starting to move back regular, bro.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Get like some blue roses and like a stuffed animal or something.
Hey man,
Yo,
don't do it, man. Don't do it.
yo, what?
Fuck that shit, man. Just break up with her, man.
Congratulations thing. Congratulations for Miss PAC.
Just break up with her, man.
Why?
Fuck it. Why not?
No, bro.
Go.
I ain't trying to be like you, man.
Alright.
You ain't like
Okay.
that, man.
Alright, man. Whatever.
Joking, though. Oh, GA gave us the break. Finally.
Finally.
Well, we gotta
Nope.
see how this thing
Still testing.
goes.
You
Yeah.
lied to me.
So now you like we gotta set this next candle print, and then we had a break. But it's just the thing I'm not liking is that 800 EMA, bro. That's the only thing.
Oh man. I think you're just scary, man.
No, I ain't scary, bro. It's just taking things step by step, man. You the one that's scary, bro.
Nah, I think fuck it, bro. We take it no matter what. Right now.
You took her last night too, didn't you?
Nah, nah, nah.
Cap,
Nah, 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 nah.
cap. You don't have to lie to me, boy.
Nah, nah. What are you talking about, man? We were playing COD last
You
night.
don't have to lie to me. You don't have to lie to me, man. Just 'cause
We
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 played
were we
last
were
night.
rank play all night.
Oh damn, I was tired, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I went to sleep at like 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock, man. I was out of there. Say Weezy, we out of here. So I could get from point A to point B.
Alright, man. Keep it on GA for me. Let me know if you got a break.
We 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 got it on GL already.
No, the valid break.
What are you looking at it right now?
Valid break.
Bro, hold on, man. That candle didn't close above that high just yet. But it's like it doesn't even have a top wick, so we gotta see.
Just. You're
It has
looking
to be
for.
one more candle.
You're just looking for a candle closing above.
I know. So that's what I'm waiting for. We don't have it just yet. That's like a candle was an equal high, so
Yeah.
we could probably get it because price gave two exhaustion candles to the downside, so
USD
we
CAD is
might as well finish
printing.
up. Damn. But what is Zara talking about? We in this motherfucker like SpongeBob.
And then gave a beautiful 5 minute engulfing, man.
I told you
Yeah,
that.
but it didn't
But the
fill up the
candle
fucking
didn't.
gap, man. Like that's the shit. And it didn't give us a fucking break of the highs, man. Godly. Like, why can't they give us that entry on a beautiful Mona Lisa, man?
Because they don't want to fuck
On a
with us,
silver
man.
fucking platter. Like, save it, please. I'm
They don't fuck with us,
hungry.
man.
Please, I'm hungry.
They don't fuck with us, man. I'm hungry. I gotta eat and
You,
prepare
you
shit.
really hungry.
Man, I'm starving,
You
man.
haven't eaten in 4 days, man. That's fucking crazy.
I'm fasting right now, man. I'm gonna go to the gym later on. Yeah, that's nasty on BTC.
That's nasty on BTC. What are we talking about? Oh yeah. No, but price is doing exactly what it needs to do, man. Again, it's just on a retest. It gave you an exhaustion candle. As soon as price gave you the exhaustion candle, price just melted. Right? Not only did it give you the exhaustion candle, but that exhaustion candle was also an engulfing candle. Right? So boom, you got the engulfing candle, you got the retest, and price went straight into profit. Straight into profit. Price tapped into the 30-minute lows on EA, but price already obviously gave us STP for the day.
Yeah.
And then on the 1 minute gave us a engulfing candle. It still hasn't given us the retest.
That's what I was saying. And then within that, it gave us a change of character, and it broke both of those levels. What a change of character. So
And then now for
that's
GA,
kind
we
of
didn't get
giving
the
off right
valid.
for GA.
We didn't get the valid break on GA just yet though.
Damn.
So GA, we're still. This will most likely be a trade for like tomorrow, bro. To be honest with you.
Wait, what the fuck? It's the different servers, bro. Cause on Awanda we got the clean break.
GCAD, man, GCAD is so good.
That's so trash.
All right, we look. I was fucking last week. I was just early to the trade, man. I was early to the trade. It's all good. I was just early to the trade, man, but it's all good. Come back. Now we got the confirmations, yo. At least we now know price for GCAD is gonna start pushing up. Right? We know we got a 3rd month high, so we have a lot of time and a lot of pips left to be able to catch this trade. So no rush. We got the confirmations. Now we got the now we gotta look for the valid trades. Now US 30 closed back down, right? Which is what we wanted to see. Closed below the zone again. Now we're gonna be looking for lower time frames, engulfing candles, right? And closures below the 800. Change of character, break of structure. We got the change. Looking for the break below the 800. So still kind of waiting for US 30 as well.
Shit, but it's 9:30,
It's
man.
already 10:30, bro. It's gonna be power hour. We're gonna stay up. Right, we got a valid on USD CAD. We got a test candle. Right, testing came back down. Testing candle. We'll be looking for another candle closure above. So let's add a line.
Power, man.
Well, this is just a break of the zone of consolidation, so I'm not gonna mark that, but I'm gonna mark. Obviously, what we're seeing is still lower low, lower high, lower low.
I noticed that like the market makers like giving the easy trades when it's not that many people like on the
On the chart,
charts type shit.
of course.
That's why like because I mean no one's really trading power hour type shit like what 7 a.m. to fucking 10 a.m. 11
Everybody's
a.m.
on the
Like
charts.
yeah, so I can see why power hour is really even a thing because like it's just they gonna give the easy moves doing power hour type shit and like they collect like all their money doing New York session basically all the accumulation and shit like that. But yeah, man, I get it, man. They they don't fuck with us.
They
They
not
want to
like
make as
us.
money as
They not like us.
possible. It's crazy how like on Owanda it gave the valid break, but on FX it didn't.
Let me
So
look.
why
I'm
that
on
shit?
Trade Locker. Trade Locker gave us a valid break too. Well, not really. Because that green candle that I have, this is a red candle, but the green candle that I have on Trade Locker is a green candle, but it didn't close above.
Oh shit! I have a green candle. It closed above, but it didn't have a top wick on Owanda. Yeah, it closed above, but it didn't have a top wick, which was kind of ass.
Regardless, kind of want to see price up here.
Hmm.
USDs
Yeah,
are
that's the main thing. Like, do I want to buy into the 800 EMA? No, not really.
not really, not really.
I'll be back. Oh snap!
Where you going? Be right back, stream. Time 10:35. Yeah, give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
Yo, yo. Nothing going czar. Nothing going czar. Gee, I really want to see EU come back down and induce those lows, bruh. Induce the lows, and then give us that push back to the top side. Please, EU, please. That third week high. I need it. I don't need it. It'd be cool to have though, but I don't need it. Either. Two-seater. Yo. Price bounced off to 50. Yo, hello? Testing, testing. I don't know, my mic on. Shit, he probably just not here. Got the valid break. No, not yet.
Alright, I'm back. My bad, guys. Kendall, you here?
Nope.
Alright, cool.
TA gave us a clean break, but it rejected the 800 EMA. Clean break, but rejection of the 800 EMA. And it gave us a little 1 minute gap here too.
I don't see the gap.
That's probably because I'm on Orlando. Damn. Yo, on FX it's not there. US 30 still. No break. Dang. AUD USD gave us that new high. High, 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 low. High, high. Now the fact that price gave us that break. So now that price gave us that break, but the fact that we rejected the 800 EMA, will we even look for these buys?
Well, we can still sit here and look for them. It's just about waiting to see which zones would be better to take the trades in. Whether we're gonna wait for price, whether we're gonna enter here or we're gonna enter in the next break of structure above the 800.
Right.
That's pretty much it, to be honest.
Because I would prefer the next break of structure of the 800.
Yeah. No, it's like the same. It's like the same example with what we're doing with USD CAD. Like, what break do we want to see? Like, we know we wanted to see a break here before looking for the entry, so it's the same thing. Where it's like, now we're gonna be looking for the break and just looking for another entry. So, it's the same thing we'll be doing with the 800 EMA on GA.
Alright, bet. Oh man. Gotta get right. Let me check my joint, see if they updated my credit card or not. Break of the 800. Wee. No, no rejection candle. We need that break. You get that break, I give you a nice little tap on the butt. How about that? one candle, bro.
Yeah, it's usually how it goes.
Fuck. And then 112 of that wasn't an exhaustion candle. Like, hey, yo,
That's why it's like I said, bro. Like, yo, trading in these areas, trading in these conditions, it's like, yo, what are we gonna do, man? Like, yo, this is clown work. Like, shit's not even moving the way. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are we gonna do with this? Nothing, bro. Ain't gonna do shit.
that shit rejected the 800 again, brother.
Like, my chart over here is fucking broken. What the fuck is going on here?
ZAR isn't even moving. CAD rejected the 800 on the 1 minute. On the 5 minute, it
Alright,
did.
so this is what I'm gonna do. What time is it? 10:47. Yeah, I'm not gonna trade anymore for the rest of the day. But I want to see. Cat, I'm gonna wait for the break. Czar, I mean, bro, shit's already gonna hit SCP in 3 pips. So it is what it is. I'm gonna let these pairs do what they gotta do. I'm not gonna force any of these trades today. Wait for it, man. It is what it is. GCAD, had a nice little break and retest, and then nice little retest continuation today too again. So this is really the one for tomorrow to look for that 372. We'll love to see price finish somewhere in these lows, and then we'll take these trades back up to these highs tomorrow. But we'll see what price wants to do. Any questions in the chat? Any other pairs you guys want me to look over? Anything else you guys want to talk about? Let me know. If not, that's
GA,
pretty
you got a
much it
break
for
on the
today.
800. Well, we're getting a testing candle right now. And then the next candle could potentially. Don't come back and touch it. No. Stay away.
Yeah, stay away.
Stay away. Stay away. Go make the new high.
Any other questions in chat, guys? Anything else you guys want to go over?
And we will have the crossing of the. Hey, no. Hey, keep the stream open for a little bit.
Alright.
Because GA just gave us a break, my boy. Let's go. So, we got a break on GA of the 800. Got a break on the 800. And the 50 is getting ready to cross the 200 as well. So that's some good confirmation right there, I would say. That's some good confirmation right there, at least, my brother. So yeah, GA, you push up a little bit more so these EMAs can cross. So then now
Yo.
Would you look for something like this, right?
Yeah.
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 All right. 50%, crossing of the 50 and the 200. Stop loss beneath the higher low.
But the USD's already hit TP as well, so let's shut that off.
All right.
USD CAD. That gap throws this shit off for me, bro. US 30.
Thing I'm not liking is that I'm not seeing this gap on my broker.
On what, on USD CAD?
No, on GB GBPAUD.
What you got? Oh, the one on the 30 minute.
The yeah, 30-minute gap. I'm not seeing it on the broker. It's kind of butt.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Sound like
oh,
you
nothing.
just did some coke.
Yeah, man.
Sound like you just did some coke or something. You
Buffalo
good?
Soldier. What's up, yeah? I'm chilling. Man, fucking bored though. Yo,
Yo, bounce off the 50. See that bounce off the 50? And even when price taps into the 50%, we still will want to see like a exhaustion candle,
mm.
exhaustion candle or a rejection candle or something. Not just taking it as soon as it taps into the 50%. Damn, Czar hit STP. Was about to hit STP. She gave 23.6 and then just went. Well, back on my toes. Gap still in the field. US 30 literally didn't move. Didn't move. It's fucking crazy, man. Hopefully it's warmer today, bro. I walked outside yesterday, man. I'm thinking like it's gonna be kind of cool outside or something, bro. Hell no. It looked good outside, but man, it was cold as hell. I'm damn. It's gonna be 70 degrees tomorrow, 68 Thursday, 57 Friday, 58 Saturday. Damn, it's just gonna be windy. Shit was just loud as hell.
Gave us a bounce off the 50. Gave us a crazy wick.
Did indeed.
My brother.
Huh?
My brother.
But it's just like the only thing with this is that the stop loss will be real big.
Show you something else
Cause
real big.
oh no,
Oh,
this nigga,
who the fuck said that?
this guy. Yeah, I don't really want to chase price, man. I ain't gonna lie. Bounced off the 50 EMA. Gave us two exhaustion candles left, but it's like I would prefer my stop loss to be under previous structure. So, granted, we do have a previous higher low, but I was looking at that more significant one that gave us the break.
Would like to see a engulfing candle too in this area somewhere. You said that's it?
Yeah, man, that's it, man. Ain't shit else left. Yeah, I'm off the charts for the day, my brother. Somebody, because you're getting gold, you're trying to limit the number of steps you take.
Minor trade? No, Jessica. No, Albert. No, I'm not in a trade. Waiting this one out. Again, I'm not really gonna force any trades. I'm just kind of wanting to see how. Give me a second, but I'm just getting a text. Just kind of waiting to see what price wants to do with a lot of these pairs, guys. A lot of these zones that we're in. Pretty much nothing else really has happened since the last thing that I said.
USD CAD gave us a break above, but has given us a valid break, just testing candles. STP is already going to be hit before we could even look for a trade. USD ZAR hit SCP before we could look for a trade. But a lot of these pairs are just setting up for the rest of the week. Right, gold is just still consolidating in this area, not really a lot to look at. Bitcoin, same thing, just giving us a zone of consolidation, so we don't really have any trades or anything else to look at when it comes to this. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep the chart on. Like we can see, GCAD gave us the push as well, gave us the break. So again, I'm just more looking at these pairs now that we have left, just kind of look where we have our continuation, our flip, and how it's gonna set up for the rest of the week. That's pretty much what I'm looking at this point. Thank you, Mom. Did you eat already? Huh? Okay. Thanks. Okay, no problem, Jessica. Crazy, crazy, crazy work. Oh man. Alright. I'm gonna turn off the stream, guys. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Let's go through these pairs one by one, just for the one time, just so you can see how price is moving. See US 30 rejected those highs again. USD CAD just continued that push. Right, never really gave us an entry opportunity. Neither did USD ZAR. Just straight green candles to the top side. Right, so that's pretty much it for today, guys. Any other questions? Any other pairs you guys want me to go over? If not, then we're pretty much done for the day. And we'll be back again tonight for the isolation session, and then tomorrow for the live trading session. Alright, guys. Peace out.